Okay, so let's get right into it. This is a story that, honestly, most people thought would never happen. A royal's fall from grace, sure, but this is something else entirely. We're going to break down how the king's own brother actually ended up in police custody. We'll look at the evidence that literally brought the police to his doorstep, and we'll really dig into what it means when that old saying, no one is above the law, gets put to the ultimate test. It's a huge deal.
So just picture this for a second. It's his 66th birthday, and the man who used to be Prince Andrew, the King of England's brother, gets arrested. I mean, this isn't some historical show you're binging. This really happened. February 19th, 2026, a day that just sent absolute shockwaves through the entire British establishment, and, well, pretty much the whole world was watching. Right, so Section 1, a royal arrest. The big question is, what happened on that day, February 19th, 2026? How in the world did we get here? You know, as senior royal being taken into custody, it's just mind-blowing. Turns out it all went down like a very carefully planned operation. So the day kicks off, and it's swift, it's decisive. We're talking 8 a.m., 6 unmarked police cars pull up to Wood Farm. That's Andrew's place on the Sandringham estate. He's arrested right then and there, and at the same time, police start searching his other homes. But here's the really crucial part. The operation was so quiet, so discreet, that apparently neither King Charles nor anyone at Buckingham Palace got a heads up. That's a huge signal, right? The police are making it crystal clear they're independent. And you can bet the experts were all over this immediately. They weren't just calling it a criminal case. No, they framed it as a historic crisis. I mean, listen to this quote from royal expert Craig Prescott. The most spectacular fall from grace for a member of the royal family in modern times. That says it all, doesn't it? This was never just about one guy. It was seen as a challenge to the entire monarchy. Okay, on to the next big piece of the puzzle, the Epstein files. Where did all this evidence actually come from? Well, the whole investigation really hangs on this massive trove of documents that were released over in the United States. Yep, this arrest is a direct result of information that came out because of the American Epstein Files Transparency Act. It just blew the lid off tons of court records. So the actual charge here is misconduct in public office. And in the UK, this is a really big deal. It's a common law offense, which means it isn't something brand new written down in a law book. It's been established over centuries of legal cases. And this is key. It's not about his private life. It's all about the accusation that he abused his power during his time as a trade envoy. And the sentence for this? It can be up to life in prison. That's how serious this is. And when you look at the allegations, they are shockingly specific. So while he's the UK's special trade envoy, a role that's all about public trust, right? He's accused of taking confidential government documents and, get this, forwarding them to Jeffrey Epstein literally minutes after he got them. And we're not talking about some casual notes here. These were official reports on trade visits and even investment opportunities in Afghanistan, which was an active war zone. Just wow. And this single quote from an email, it really cuts to the heart of the whole investigation. He apparently calls a file a confidential brief to Epstein and then asks who else he should show it to. Think about that for a second. It looks like he wasn't using his public office for the public good, but was asking a convicted sex offender for networking tips with state secrets. It's just unbelievable. Okay, so let's move on to what's really at the center of all this. Because behind all the legal talk and the royal scandal, there's a really deep human story. This was never just about emails. It's about a long, incredibly painful fight for accountability. A fight led by the victims of Jeffrey Epstein. And you can't talk about this case without talking about Virginia Giuffre. She was one of Epstein's most well-known accusers. For years, she said she was trafficked by Epstein to have sex with Andrew when she was just a minor. He denied it, again and again, but he did end up paying a massive civil settlement to her back in 2022. The tragic part of this story is that Virginia died by suicide last year. She never got to see this day, a day that so many survivors fight for, a day when it feels like accountability might actually be possible. And remember that infamous photo? The one with Andrew, a young Virginia Giuffre, and Ghislaine Maxwell? For years, Andrew and his team tried to cast doubt on it, suggesting it wasn't real. Well, then this email pops up from the Epstein files. It seems to be Maxwell herself, writing to Epstein back in 2015, basically confirming the picture was taken. It just completely pulls the rug out from under one of his biggest public defenses. So you can only imagine what this arrest means for Virginia's family and for so many other survivors. It's this incredibly powerful symbol. Their family statement just says it all. our broken hearts have been lifted. No one is above the law. And that's the thing, right? This was never just about one man. It's about taking on a system that for way too long seemed built to protect powerful men from any real consequences. For them, this is Virginia's legacy.
So, with all that happening, what about the crown itself? An event this big, this monumental? It basically forced the royal family and the king into totally uncharted territory. I mean, the arrest of your own brother? That's not just a family problem. It's a full-blown institutional crisis.
And King Charles's response? It's been incredibly swift and decisive, both in what he's done and what he's said. Remember, even before the arrest, he'd already stripped Andrew of all his royal titles. Then he kicked him out of Royal Lodge. And his statement after the arrest was just unequivocal. He offered full support to the police and said, quote, "The law must take its course." It's a very clear strategy, right? Protect the institution of the monarchy at all costs by cutting ties with the individual. Which brings us to the final massive theme here. No one above the law. This whole situation is putting a fundamental principle of democracy to the test, and the entire world is watching. The question is everyone really equal under the law? And the message from the very top of the government came through loud and clear. The prime minister basically said, look, this isn't a royal issue, it's a legal issue. One of the core principles in our system is that everybody is equal under the law and nobody is above the law. The entire political establishment lined up behind that idea, let the investigation happen, no interference, no matter who he is. So what happens next? Well, from here on out, it's all by the book. According to all the commentators, Andrew is being held in a totally standard police cell. No special treatment, none of that. He'll be interviewed by detectives, under caution, and then the police have up to 96 hours to decide what to do. Charge him, release him, or keep investigating. The legal gears are turning just like they would for anyone else.
So as the whole world is watching this unfold, it's pretty clear this is about way more than just one man and his alleged crimes. It's become this huge public test of justice itself, of institutional power, and really of what accountability is going to look like in the future. It leaves you with this massive question. When power is finally put on trial like this, who really wins? And when a system is forced to reckon with one of its own, does that show its strength? Or does it just expose the weaknesses that were hiding there the whole time?